Imagine a family so powerful, so influential that they could reshape the world as we know it. A family whose wealth built empires, whose patronage birthed masterpieces, and whose ambitions reached the highest seat of religious power. This wasn't a royal dynasty with a lineage stretching back centuries. This was the Medici family of Florence. They were the undisputed godfathers of the Renaissance, and their story is one of ambition, intrigue, and unparalleled cultural impact. The Medici story isn't just about lavish banquets and opulent palaces, although there were plenty of those. It's about a family who understood the power of money, the allure of art, and the delicate dance of politics. Their story is our story, interwoven with the very fabric of Western civilization. From humble beginnings as wool merchants, the Medici rose to become bankers, to kings, popes, and even their enemies. Their influence permeated every aspect of Florentine life, from the bustling marketplaces to the soaring cathedrals. They were the architects of a golden age, ushering in a period of unparalleled artistic, scientific, and intellectual flourishing. But their ascent wasn't without its challenges. Jealous rivals, political machinations, and even assassination attempts were all part of the game. The Medici navigated these treacherous waters with cunning and determination, cementing their legacy as one of the most fascinating and enduring dynasties in history. The Medici story begins not in marble halls but in the bustling workshops of 14th century Florence. It was a city on the cusp of a cultural explosion, a vibrant center of trade where ambition hung thick in the air. The Medici, initially humble wool merchants, understood the currents of this changing world. Giovanni di Bicci de' Medici, the patriarch of the family, possessed a keen business acumen and a knack for spotting opportunities. He recognized the limitations of the family's wool trade and set his sights on a more lucrative venture: banking. With shrewd investments and strategic partnerships, Giovanni laid the foundation for what would become the most powerful financial institution in Europe, the Medici Bank. His vision extended beyond mere profit. Giovanni understood the intricate link between wealth and influence. He strategically positioned the Medici Bank at the heart of Florentine society, financing everything from grand cathedrals to ambitious artists. Giovanni's ambition wasn't limited to accumulating wealth. He sought to elevate his family and in turn elevate Florence itself. Giovanni's decision to establish the Medici Bank was a stroke of genius, forever altering the family's trajectory. It was a risky move, as banking in the 14th century was fraught with peril. Yet Giovanni was not one to shy away from a challenge. He understood that the church, with its vast wealth and influence, presented a unique opportunity. At that time, the church prohibited usury, the lending of money at interest. Giovanni found ways to navigate these restrictions, offering loans disguised as other financial transactions. Word of the Medici Bank's discretion and efficiency spread like wildfire. Soon, they were managing the finances of not only wealthy merchants, but also powerful cardinals, and even the papacy itself. The Medici Bank became synonymous with wealth, stability, and influence. This newfound power didn't go unnoticed. Rivals within Florence, envious of the Medici's rising star, began to plot their downfall. However, Giovanni, a master strategist, had secured the loyalty of the popolo, the common people of Florence, through his generous patronage and civic contributions. Giovanni's son, Cosimo de' Medici, inherited his father's business acumen and his ambition. Cosimo was a shrewd operator, understanding that true power lay not just in wealth but in controlling the levers of government. He deftly navigated the complex web of Florentine politics, using his family's wealth to secure alliances and influence elections. His rivals, threatened by Cosimo's growing influence, orchestrated his exile from Florence in 1433. They believed they had neutralized the Medici threat, but they had underestimated Cosimo's resolve. Exile, however, proved to be a blessing in disguise. Cosimo used his time away to consolidate his power, forging alliances with influential figures across Italy. Within a year he returned to Florence, not as a defeated exile, but as the city's de facto ruler. His enemies were swiftly dealt with, their properties confiscated, and their influence extinguished. Cosimo, now known as Pater Patriae, father of his country, ushered in a golden age for Florence. Section 5. Lorenzo, patron of the arts, master of Florence. Lorenzo de' Medici, Cosimo's grandson, embodied the Renaissance ideal. A man of insatiable curiosity, he was a poet, a politician, a patron of the arts, and a shrewd diplomat. Lorenzo understood the power of image and cultivated an aura of magnificence that extended far beyond the walls of Florence. Under Lorenzo's rule, Florence became the epicenter of the Italian Renaissance. He was a passionate collector of classical art and literature, amassing a vast library that became a magnet for scholars and artists from across Europe. Lorenzo's patronage extended to some of the greatest artistic minds the world had ever seen, including Leonardo da Vinci, Sandro Botticelli, and Michelangelo. He recognized their genius and provided them with the resources and freedom to create their masterpieces. Lorenzo's reign, however, was not without its challenges. He faced constant threats from rival city-states, and even survived an assassination attempt during High Mass in the Duomo, Florence's Grand Cathedral. Section 6. A Family Affair, the Medici Popes. The Medici's influence reached the pinnacle of power with the ascension of not one but two family members to the papacy. Giovanni de' Medici, Lorenzo's son, became Pope Leo X in 1513, followed by Giulio de' Medici, who took the name Clement VII in 1523. The Medici popes used their position to further the family's interests, appointing relatives to powerful positions within the church and commissioning magnificent works of art to enhance the splendor of Rome. Their reigns, however, coincided with a period of great upheaval in Europe, the rise of Protestantism. Martin Luther's challenge to the authority of the Catholic Church shook the foundations of the old order and threatened the Medici's grip on power. The Protestant Reformation, a direct challenge to the Church's authority, presented a significant challenge to the Medici popes. Their attempts to quell the Reformation through a mix of diplomacy and military force ultimately proved unsuccessful, leading to a permanent schism within Christianity. Section 7. Michelangelo's David, a testament to Medici patronage. No single work of art better encapsulates the Medici legacy than Michelangelo's David. This colossal statue, carved from a single block of marble, embodies the spirit of the Renaissance, strength, beauty, and the boundless potential of human achievement. The David was originally commissioned as a symbol of Florentine independence, a defiant reminder of the city's resilience against larger, more powerful enemies. The Medici, ever the shrewd political operators, recognized the propaganda value of such a powerful symbol. They ensured that the David was prominently displayed in the Piazza della Signoria, the heart of Florence's political life, where it served as a constant reminder of the city's strength and the Medici's role in its prosperity. Today, Michelangelo's David stands as a testament to the enduring power of art and the Medici's legacy as patrons of the Renaissance. Section 8. The Protestant Reformation cracks in the facade. The Protestant Reformation, sparked by Martin Luther's challenge to church doctrine, sent shockwaves across Europe. This movement questioned the very foundations of the Catholic Church's authority and threatened the Medici's grip on power. The Medici popes, Leo X and Clement VII, found themselves caught in the crossfire. They attempted to quell the Reformation through a mixture of diplomacy and force, but the movement proved too powerful to contain. The Reformation led to a period of religious wars and upheaval across Europe, forever altering the religious landscape. It also marked a turning point for the Medici. Their influence, once seemingly unassailable, began to wane. The Medici, however, were nothing if not adaptable. They shifted their focus from religious power to secular influence, consolidating their control over Florence and Tuscany. Section 9. The Enduring Legacy. From Florence to the World. The Medici dynasty may have faded into the annals of history, but their legacy continues to resonate today. From the cobbled streets of Florence to the grand museums of the world, their fingerprints are everywhere. They left an indelible mark on Western civilization, shaping our world through their patronage of the arts, their financial innovations, and their political acumen. The Renaissance, sparked in no small part by the Medici's vision and ambition, remains a touchstone of human achievement. It was a time of unparalleled creativity, a period that redefined art, science, and our understanding of the world. So, the next time you gaze upon the beauty of Michelangelo's David or marvel at the architectural splendor of Florence, remember the Medici. They were more than just a wealthy family. They were the architects of a golden age, and their story continues to captivate and inspire us centuries later.